Behind the sprinkle and the how to be more feminine tutorials lies something much darker. It goes by many names. Hypergamy TikTok, sprinkle TikTok, but at its core, it's what I would like to call pink pill content. We've all heard of red pill content.
That men like quiet women, right? We've been saying that for years because women aren't valued on their opinions, unfortunately.
No, it's because you can't take pushback.
At first, it seemed harmless, like a pushback to incel rhetoric. And I mean, come on, like who doesn't want to feel soft, pretty, and in control of their life? But give it a few scrolls, and you're being subliminally told that if you're not married to a rich man by 27, you've failed as a woman. That men are inherently above you, that love is supposed to be transactional, and that your sanity is the currency. How was something that was meant to heal us as women start poisoning us along the way? And what are the true dangers of pink pill content? Let's talk about it.
The power of what women really want is so forceful, so potentially iconoclastic, she argues, that the only way to control it is to distract us with self-loathing and the lifelong project of disciplined self-maintenance.
What is pink pill content? It's essentially content pushing hypergamy, the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background.
If you're not marrying up, and you're not marrying for money, you're stupid. Okay? And I'm just telling all that. You will regret it. You will be mad at yourself, and you will be looking for better while you're, you know what I'm saying? And your man will be looking for others too. I'm trying to help y'all.
It's hyperfeminine advice in front of a pink sparkly background and women in silk robes telling you that if you don't marry a man with money, then what are you doing with your life? Huh? Getting degrees? Going to therapy? Healing?
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
Why do that when you can have Bob? He's not a looker, but he has 3 houses. So there's that. On the surface, this content can look like empowerment. But when you dig a little bit deeper, the message isn't truly about teaching women about freedom. It's about fitting yourself into a box. A perfectly pink, pretty little box.
I don't know if people are ready to hear this, but hypergamy content is slowly starting to feel like the female version of red pill content. Now, wait, hear me out. Hear me out. I know that red pill content is actively promoting abuse towards women, but hypergamy content is slowly promoting emotional abuse towards men. Okay, hold on. I love seeing women get treated like queens. I love seeing that on my page. I love seeing men adore and spoil their women any chance they get. However, there's content that's being pushed out to essentially make you compare your relationship with some random person's relationship. If your man does not buy you a car, 1,000 roses, and pays your rent, he's just not man enough. You're with the wrong guy. He's a dusty. Do you know how damaging that is for not just men, but for women ourselves? Because this is reinforcing the idea that a woman's value has to come from the external. It has to come from material goods. Like, I'm only a woman enough, I'm only feminine enough if I can have a guy pay for me, essentially. So my value is based on a man still.
You know, if you want the soft life, you have to fit the aesthetic. Always wear matching loungewear. Always wear matching pajama sets to bed. Always use luxury or high-end skincare. Always, and I mean always, have your hair and nails done. Your fashion sense should be minimalist. Old money, classy. Do you notice what's missing? Individuality. But you know what's not missing? Eurocentrism. No braids, no locks, no tattoos.
If you're trying to have braids and big curls, that's more for dusties. They like that. Men with money want you to fit into their environment, and big curls and braids don't fit in. No braids. Most men do not like curly hair. Curly hair is too big. It's too much. It takes away from your beauty. They're not going to see none of this. All they're going to see is this. So the hair should be simple and sleek. That's just how it is.
No bright, colorful hair. Nothing that pushes against the prim, proper, classy woman that you're striving to be. Because we know Bob doesn't want a woman with loud colors in her hair or loud, bright, long nails. No, 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 no. That just doesn't fit into his world. And maybe, just maybe, if you can fit yourself into this little box, then finally you'll be worthy. This content preys on people's insecurities, their loneliness, because guess what? If you've been lonely, if you're desperate for community or love even, someone who is lost and trying to find themselves, pink pill content gives you a ready-made identity to try to emulate, you know? You don't know who you are? That's fine. Be soft, be feminine, be pink, be desirable, be everything a man would want. No, darling, you don't need therapy. You need silk pajamas. And then you can finally be happy. But what is happiness? Oh, thanks for asking. It's getting a man. It's always about getting a man. The end goal is to find a man, but not just any man. A man that will pay your bills. Because what is love without capitalism? That doesn't sound very empowering, does it? That's because it isn't. One of the biggest things pink pill content is being feminine.
Here are my tips on how to look and feel more feminine.
Here's a list of some of the things that you can incorporate into your life if you would like to be more feminine.
If you do this one thing, it is guaranteed your light feminine energy will activate.
The little things I do every day to stay in my feminine energy and feel more peaceful.
Being soft, being palatable, being elegant, not being too loud, because that's not classy, is it? It's all rooted in being palatable to men at the end of the day. To get a man. It's essentially what women have been spewing for a very long time. You know, sit down, be quiet, listen to your husband. It's just repackaged with cute little thumbnails on social media. And what's truly sad is that a lot of these women really, truly believe this. Like, no matter what could go wrong in life, their go-to comeback is going to be, at least I have a man.
I'm married! This is my man. Everybody talking about my man, my man. I'm so tired, child. I'm so tired. I'm really tired.
As if that is just the ultimate flex, you know? And the thing is, when you spend years and years of your life tying your entire identity into the male gaze or men in general, there's only a couple of ways this plays out. You never truly feel safe or happy because you're spending your life constantly vying for validation from men. Or B, you wake up at 50 and realize you were living a fantasy the entire time. And now it's too late to get those years back. You push those feelings down or you begin to spiral. That's why you see so many older women telling younger women to not get married and not have kids or just do it at a later age. Don't rush into it.
Actual facts of the matter are that marriage is an institution that is absolutely terrible for women.
What advice would you give your younger self?
To never marry. To never marry. I think that I could have done all the things that I have done without a man.
할머니, 우리 시집 갈까? 왜? 왜?
아직 몰랐어.
5년 있으면 나 30이 되는데. 5년, 6년.
그때 가서 생각해보자.
그때 가서 생각해라고?
아직은 일러.
아직은 일러? 왜 일른 건데?
묶여. 네 자유가 다 구성이 돼.
그러면 지금은 확 놀으려고? 확 놀고?
해볼 거 다 해봐.
해볼 거 다 하고?
Because they woke up one day and realized that the life they have is not the life that they truly want. But from a young age, they were told the end goal is to find a man, dress a certain way, do your hair a certain way so that you can get the man. And then once you have the man, make sure you always make him dinner. Make sure you're an agreeable wife. Make sure you don't give your husband too hard of a time.
If you wanted to be a wife in the 1950s, these are the things you would have to be able to do.
She must know how to cook, no food. She must know how to set her table attractively. She must know how to make her home comfortable and inviting. She must know the worth of labor-saving devices and how best to conserve her time and energy. She must know clothes, how to buy, and how to make them. She must face death to bring children into the world. She must raise them, care for them, and pilot them safely to the threshold of manhood and womanhood. To her husband, she must be a companion, a sweetheart, a wife, and a mother. She must stir his ambition, pull him through failure, and keep success from hurting him. She must make social contact. She must widen her own horizon and find time for culture.
They spent most of their lives making the men in their lives happy, to the point where they don't even truly know themselves. It's sad, actually. So you become the epitome of femininity. You get the man. He's not too good looking. He might be a little old, but he pays all your bills and gives you access to the country club year round. As long as you sit there and be pretty and you have his dinner on the table every day at 7 o'clock. But what they never bring up in the pink pill content about this lifestyle is the burnout. They always preach about ease and living the soft life, living a life of luxury. But what happens when maintaining this aesthetic becomes labor in itself? When your entire identity revolves around constantly being on, always looking graceful, looking put together, giving your all to a man that really can't give you much in return but his wallet.
There are several problems with the casual objectification and commodification of women that is perpetuated in femininity coaching spaces, but one of the most insidious is how these spaces target young women and girls and essentially teach them that in the midst of their relationship building and community building, they should always be aware of the fact that their relationships are transactional, that they are nothing more than vessels to provide services to people, that they should essentially objectify themselves before the world objectifies them. It's just such a harmful rhetoric to teach in general, and it is deeply anti-communal. And I often see like people try to frame this as being like an anti-capitalist, anti-patriarchal statement, when in actuality all it does is just feed into this long-standing historical precedent that women are objects. And it's unsettling. It's unsettling because it sets up young women and girls to be deeply emotionally and spiritually unsatisfied, to go without forging genuine communal bonds and connections, to not see themselves as individuals and people first who are deserving of genuine partnership. Like, it's just very insidious.
This is a full-time job that you cannot clock out of. There's no PTO for emotional labor. And when you don't truly love your partner, but you stay with the money because, you know, that's what sprinkle is all about. Don't worry about if you like him. That should come eventually. Worry about the money. The emotional toll of this can be brutal. You're not living a soft life by being inauthentic and constantly having to put on a brave face in your own home. That's actually quite a hard life, if you ask me. Being in a relationship where you don't truly feel emotionally safe, or you're just overall emotionally starved because the guy can't provide anything but money, isn't a luxury. You're essentially signing away your rights to a happy life outside of material things. You're signing away your right to have control over your life, the right to speak up, the right to have boundaries. Because for a lot of these men that have money, if you're a pretty girl and you become their companion, their girlfriend, their wife, whatever, a lot of them are used to just getting their way, doing whatever, they please. And unless he's setting aside a savings account for you or a trust fund that you get to walk away with even if you break up, a prenup, something along those lines, then you're not really benefiting, because God forbid you guys break up, you're going to be in a predicament.
When a rich guy is dating a rich girl, it's very hard for him to impress her because she's used to this lifestyle. Her parents have been providing it to her, so she's not easily impressed by his gifts or the vacations where they go. That's why he can't feel like a hero. That's why many guys choose to date girls from a different social background, because they want to feel like heroes, because they want to feel like somebody admires them, because now they're the provider and they're showing those girls to those 5-star hotels, the fine dinings, and those girls are actually sincerely impressed because they're not used to this, and it makes the pride of a guy go over the roof. That's why romanticizing this is a good thing, but you also understand that now he's the reason why you have this lifestyle and you are dependent on him. It's not as easy to leave when you know that you're not just leaving the person, but you're leaving the entire lifestyle. So that's why this is one of the reasons why parents want you to date within your social class, because you don't have those dilemmas and you don't have to be faced with a choice like this. Of course, there are many other reasons. Of course, money makes more money. That's why rich people are trying to marry rich people. But when you come from a wealthy family and you are in a relationship where you are unhappy, you can easily leave, because your parents can still support you. But what happens to the girls who are now in this lifestyle only because of the boyfriend? It can get extremely controlling. So of course, as always, the best decision is to be financially independent. But of course, it's harder than it sounds.
These sort of scenarios make it extremely easy for women to become abused, especially financially. So although this life is being pushed as being soft, there are horror stories out there that can certainly show you that it's not. Now, if we look even closer at pink pill content, we'll see something a little bit suspicious. Like, zoom in. I mean, really zoom in. And you'll see a direct pipeline to conservatism and regressive ideologies. This archetype typically promotes passivity. Be poised, be submissive, revere your masculine alpha man. Some of these creators will bash feminism and protect traditionalism at all costs, despite the fact that feminism also benefits them. How does that work?
We want to dismantle the whole feminist movement. Yes, we do. We are anti-feminist. We've been anti-feminist the whole time because so many reasons. I don't even know how long. I mean, there's so many reasons why there's anti-feminism, but we want women to realize that it is untrue that they want to pay 50-50 on a date. That's false. I don't know one woman who is saying that without her being traumatized by a man.
Or hardened in the distortion of masculine.
Exactly.
Interesting that they love to boil down feminism to things as trivial as paying 50-50 on dates, because if they actually got into it and what feminism really was, then they wouldn't really be able to argue with the premise of it, because it's pretty straightforward.
Young women, unironically, they need to find a man that's very misogynistic. If you at all want to have a guy that's going to like make you follow his frame, and you need to find a strong Christian man that's going to put you in your place, or else you're going to dominate the relationship.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
It's like some of these women stepped straight out of the 1950s, just with like, you know, a Dior bag. And with conservatism, also known as traditionalism or being trad wives, I think that's a pretty commonly known term. And with conservatism comes its sneaky cousin, religion. When hypergamy, conservatism, and religion come together, it's messier than a slip and slide covered in gumbo in July. Okay, in July. Some of the women in the pink pill space blend their obsession with securing a high-value man with a God-fearing man, because for them, the two go hand in hand. They'll cherry-pick scriptures that promote gender roles and submission. You know, their ultimate goal is to be a Proverbs 31 woman, but make it capitalistic.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
The same systems that were used to oppress women forever are just being rebranded on social media, like I said. It's very apparent. From being modest to being submissive and all of that jazz. You want a godly man that'll be there to protect and provide, but only if he makes over 6 figures. When religion and hypergamous content mix, it becomes even more dangerous, because they are pulling on the emotional strings of these women that are desperate, okay? But from 2 different angles. And it, in my opinion, starts to become even more scary and murky, because these women from the bottom of their hearts believe what these content creators are putting out. This happy family, this wealthy lifestyle, they're beautiful, they're happy, they're wealthy, everything is perfect, without showing the realities of what this lifestyle comes with, or even just marriage in general. Being married to a man is not a walk in the park. And what is a result of this? It's generations of women that are constantly blaming themselves for not being feminine enough, not being submissive enough, not being enough in general, and and it's their fault why they don't get the ultimate prize, a man. You need to change yourself. You need to work on yourself. You need to be this idealistic person if you want to win the prize, okay? If you want to win the game.
If you want a rich husband with a provider mentality, work on yourself first. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is not what you want to hear, but let me explain why this is so crucial. Your looks may open the door, but lifestyle and character is what keeps it open. Men with money are used to being pursued because of their money, but what separates you is showing that you bring value outside of finances. Now, this doesn't mean as a woman you need to be at the same cash flow as him, but it does mean your femininity, your mindset, your energy, your character, your integrity all need to be on point. If you don't know how to regulate your emotions, or you have entitlement without effort, you don't really have a routine, you constantly try to out-alpha him, you don't have a healthy lifestyle, it is going to be a turnoff. The same exact way, if a man lacked those things, it will be a turnoff to you as a woman. There is nothing wrong in wanting a high-value man, someone who is a provider, but you first have to step into becoming the best version of yourself.
I am all for self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself, but the question I want to pose is, are these men that these women are chasing also doing this deep inner work? Are they working on themselves to learn to regulate their emotions? Are they working on their entitlement? Are they working on being the best person they can be, the best version of themselves? Why are the women expected to put in so much work in order to be worthy to be in a relationship with these men, while the men just get to show up and have money and can be like the worst person you ever met in your entire life? But because they have money, they're high value men, and they are men that you need to chase. That doesn't really make any sense, and it seems very unbalanced to me. Now, what happens if falling in line and taking on this aesthetic and this lifestyle doesn't get you married off? Well, this is where the femcel arc comes in. A femcel, or a female involuntary celibate, is a woman who feels romantically or sexually undesirable, often due to external factors like looks, trauma, or societal standards. Unlike incels, who tend to blame women for their involuntary celibacy, a lot of femcels will blame themselves. Femcels blame themselves, which can manifest in low self-esteem, depression, or an obsession with attempting to achieve unattainable beauty standards. This makes them extremely susceptible to pink pill content. Just do what I say and you'll finally be happy. Look at me, I'm happy. You need the hair, the clothes, the demeanor, the perfumes. Look better, sound better, smell better. You're the reason you're single. And if you follow all my advice, maybe one day you'll finally be beautiful and happy like me. But the reality is, no amount of look maxing will change a world where dating, relationships, marriages are oftentimes not set up for women to succeed. And a lot of these women aren't just sad that they're single, they're angry. I did everything right. I'm feminine. I'm docile. I deserve the man that I was promised. And some of these women will branch off and start judging other women for living their lives, whether that is being happily single or women that are in relationships with men that they feel like they deserve instead. Let's take Ayesha Curry, for example. Now, she gets a lot of judgment from men. Obviously, a majority of her husband's fan base as a basketball player is men. But you would be surprised to see that there are some women out there that are also very critical of Ayesha Curry's comments. Ayesha will say something along the lines of, "Hey guys, when I was growing up was a child actor, and I dreamed of being in Hollywood, and honestly, if you would have asked my younger self, I didn't think that I would have ended up a mother and a wife." And you would have sworn that she said, "Hey guys, I actually hate my husband and my children, and every morning when I wake up, I go to their beds and I kick them." Okay? She said nothing of the sort.
I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. It's so interesting. I spent my entire life like trying to work towards something, and then it kind of just disappeared, and I didn't think twice about it. But after my daughter turned 1, I remember there being a shift and being like, I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love doing other things too. And I need to get my shit together and figure out what that looks like for myself now.
But they see this high value man, which I'm sure Steph Curry, he seems like a great dad, great husband, but I don't really like the concept of high value men, whatever. But they see this guy that they deem to be a high value man simply because he has money, because that seems to be the only criteria. And they want her to sit there and shut up and not have an opinion about anything, not have aspirations outside of being this man's wife. Because for them, they want nothing more than for a wealthy man to come and sweep them off of their feet. In their minds, they think that that will bring ultimate happiness and joy. They would find nothing in life more satisfying. So to see somebody in the position that they wish they were in, complaining is like a dagger in the heart to them. So they drag her for filth. They just can't fathom seeing a woman with dreams and aspirations outside of motherhood and marriage. So yeah, a lot of these femcels become very hardened over the years. They become very judgy, very cynical. They sometimes even become the morality police towards other women. The irony in this is that these women deserve love, they deserve partnership, everyone does, but they have become so bitter in their femcel ways that they just begin to spew misogynistic rhetoric as if they were men themselves. It's sad.
Hello, motherfucker.
You want to know the real winners of pink pill content? It's the women selling ebooks and femininity coaching sessions to teach you how to lean into your softness, your femininity, your true womanhood. And you know what they're leaning into? Their wallets. They're telling you to make vision boards. They're selling you their ebooks, their planners on how to manifest this lifestyle. They're telling you how to live a soft life while they're genuinely hustling in front of you and making decent money from it. I thought the whole point of getting this man was so that you could kick back and not have to worry about money or working. So what is this that you're doing on social media if it's not working or trying to make money?
Husband is such a great provider, and you've totally cracked the code on how to live well as a woman because he pays all the bills and feminism ruined everything for us. Then why does it say paid partnership at the bottom of your post?
I need you guys to stop giving money to quiet luxury coaches and femininity coaches because all they're doing is scamming you. Like, Specs and Lasers is the latest person to come up, but this has been going on for years now. I feel like there was an uptick during the pandemic when people were in financial straits and they were looking for ways to kind of improve their lifestyles. And there was just this uptick in women being like, if you bag a rich man, this is how all your problems will be solved. And that's not like a thing, because rich men don't just give you money out of the goodness of their heart. It's a rarity that regular women find their way into wealthy spaces and just prosper. If it was so easy as just straightening your hair or wearing a vest or wearing like delicate jewelry, a lot of people would be able to sneak in. It's not that easy. I mean all this to say that the only reason that these women can quote unquote move in quiet luxury is because they're taking the money from you. You are buying their books, their programs, you're joining their classes, and they're taking your money, giving you nothing in return, and using it to buy luxury items and trips.
They're telling you to get a man to pay all your bills while you're paying theirs. Interesting. All of this content is smoke and mirrors. If they, from the bottom of their hearts, truly believed that their men were so great, if their men were truly paying all their bills and they were so satisfied, then why are they spending so much time sitting on the internet trying to get you to buy in to what they're selling? It doesn't make any sense. What happens when the man doesn't come? What happens when you spend your last $90 on a course about how to be more feminine to live a happier life? What happens when you subscribe to all the pink pill content creators, binge their videos for months, and still feel empty? It's also stealing valuable time that you could be using to truly go seek professional help and heal whatever it is that you're struggling with, whether it is depression, low self-esteem, etc. The answer is not in the pink pill. I'm sorry. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you will be. The real soft life is being at peace, okay? Having autonomy, not constantly chasing an arbitrary guy that's gonna swoop in and save you. Because more than likely, he's not coming. And that's the truth. What do you guys think about pink pill content? Have you ever seen the content? And if so, what were your opinions on it? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when more videos like these are posted. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Pink pussy.